games.
I'll just have some stock footage of me playing Kingsfield in the background while I talk about this. So, Sony is getting rid of physical media, man. And this is like going to have bigger ramifications, I think, than just getting rid of physical discs. And I've been saying this, and like some people have started to catch on more and talk about it. Like, it's the beginning of basically what the WEF wanted to begin with. Like, what was that guy's name? Grant Schwab, or whatever the hell his name is, one of the head guys in the WEF. He was famously quoted as saying, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. And a lot of people quote that now, and I don't think they realize that it's him. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe it isn't him and I'm just remembering it wrong, but whatever, it's not really super important. But the whole idea of owning nothing, they already got us, man. They got us a while ago with music and movies, right? They basically effectively took that shit away from us. I mean, yeah, people that will try to argue to the contrary, they'll say like, oh, no, you can still buy movies, you can still buy music. But the thing is like they destroyed that industry. There's an old clip that was going around for a long time where Matt Damon was talking about like, basically why you can't do romantic comedies anymore. Like you can't do rom-coms, and they used to, and it's his like favorite type of movie, but you can't do it anymore because you just can't sell tickets to something like that. And the reality was, back at the time, he said, was you wouldn't make your money in the box office, but once it went to DVD, or before that VHS, you would make it up in DVD and VHS sales of people buying the DVD and VHS release respectively, or even up to Blu-ray. That's when it started to fall out, I guess, I would say for sure. But like, that's how they would make it viable. And because of the advent of streaming, it completely decimated the sales for DVDs. So suddenly they were kind of stuck having to make the majority of their money in theaters. And they're still suffering from that. They're still suffering from the case that, and it's one of those things, they kind of shot themselves in the foot. Because like they're never going to make enough money off streaming. And now that they're trying to bring that back in many ways, where what they'll do is they'll make the movie available sooner on a streaming platform for like $20 to watch it one time. And granted, maybe for some reason, like people then, and I've done it in the past, like I've definitely spent the $20 to see a movie that was just in theaters to avoid going to the theater to see it sooner. And I think, yeah, there's definitely a market for that, but it's pretty lame that they're just charging you $20 to watch it. You have to like finish watching it in under a certain amount of days. I think you have like 4 days or some shit. I can't remember. I don't do it very often, but that's not like, back in the day, the incentive to buy the DVD afterwards was like, well, either you didn't see it at all in theaters, so you bought the DVD, and then that was something that you could bring it to a friend's house and be like, hey man, want to watch a movie? I just picked up blah 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 that just came out in the theaters, and it just dropped on DVD finally, like I'll come by, bring it with me, we'll watch a movie, get a pizza, drink a 6-pack. Wow. And it was worth the 25, 20, 25, even $30, man, to get it on DVD, because you could watch it as many times as you want it. You could bring it to any one of your friends' houses. If you watched it in theaters and you liked it, you could fucking own it. watch as many times as you wanted, share it with friends as much as you wanted. If you didn't like it in theaters, yeah, fuck, you didn't have to buy it. Also, if you didn't manage to get to the theater to see it, you could borrow, like one of your friends could loan you the DVD once they had it. You could end up watching it. You might end up liking it and decide you'd like to add it to your collection, so you buy it. Like, even as like a teenager, man, like when movies were coming out and it was predominantly VHS, like I still have my VHS collection, but I started a VHS collection as a fucking teenager, man. Like, big part of it was because it was hard to come by anime. So like we would have to like buy the anime VHSs and Blu-rays because otherwise there was no other way to see anime. So we were already like predisposed to buying physical media because like that was the only way you could get anime at the time. You had to own it physically. And so very few rental places had anime sections because like it was all considered adult, and there had to be stickers on it. Some video stores even had like the anime in the porn section, like in the adult video section, be all the porn and then like anime there. And like not a lot of places, I mean, there was in my hometown, there was a couple places that sold or that rented out anime, which was cool. Like and the video store owner to the spot we went to is called Captain's Video. Like the captain would, even though he knew we were underage, he would let us rent the anime, which was cool. Like and that was an awesome experience to be able to do that. But yeah, like back at that time, I mean, I'm kind of getting off topic a little bit, but back to what like Matt Damon was saying. It's like they took those sales away and Hollywood kind of shot themselves in the foot with streaming, you know? So it's like the same sort of thing I think is going to happen with the video game market. I think that they're trying to play make believe really hard about like how many people actually care about physical sales or actually care about physical media. They're trying to gaslight us into thinking that a very small percentage of like purchases are physical. But if you break the math down, you completely ignore all the games that don't have a physical release and are only digital, remove that from the equation. And then you only look at games that have released physically and digitally. The breakdown, I've heard figures, and I haven't worked this myself. I'd like to find some numbers, find a way to work it, at least in an isolated case. But like, I've heard numbers close to like 44% of sales of games that have released both physically and digitally, 44% of the sales are physical. So it's almost half the sales are physical for people when it comes to games that have a physical and a digital release. Not only that, this isn't counting for people who double dip, which I know a lot of people double dip. A lot of people buy digital and physical shit. Final Fantasy 16, I double dipped. Armored Core 6, I double dipped. Like, there's so many games that I double dipped for. It's retarded. Like Daemon X Machina, I double dipped. I bought it for the PS5 and for the Switch 2. Like, and in some cases, all of the Front Mission games, I bought them digitally because they came out first. And I bought them physically because the physical release wasn't until later. And lo and behold, I'm still waiting on Front Mission 3 to fucking come out from Limited Run. Limited Run is such horseshit, dude. Speaking of which, like, here we go. Limited Run, I canceled my copy of R-Type Delta HD Boosted. Fucking canceled that shit ages ago from Limited Run because I knew that it was just going to get a release somewhere else. And I showed you this on one of my last live streams where I was bitching about physical media again, even before leading up to this bullshit. But I was bitching about Limited Run. But yeah, like I said, I showed you guys, and there it is. You can get yourself a copy. and it's fucking awesome, dude. I love everything about this game. Like the cover art is so epic. I mean, you can't really go wrong with that, dude. Like it goes so hard. I Yeah, everything about it. Plus, dude, like come on. Physical media comes with a fucking manual, okay? Take me back to the days of yore, and it's like such an awesome cutesy little manual too, like the size of something you would have gotten with the Game Boy back in the day, you know? But look at this, man. Full color manual, dude. Like explaining the name of the game, explaining all the ships. Little synapse of every level, dude. Like, this is what it was about, man. This is what it was about. Yeah, awesome. Talk about physical release with a fucking instruction manual. And let take a look. Show you some more. 2 games by Marvelous, right? Scion of Darkness, or Titan of Darkness. I keep thinking of the Magic card. No, I'm Guardians of Asma. Check it out. Fucking comes with a manual, dude. Colored manual. Okay. These are the companies. These are the companies we need to give our money to. And guess what? Guardians of Asma, probably the best Rune Factory game to date, if you ask me. Fucking awesome game. Between that and here we are with Titanic Scion. There we go. Manual. Physical game. Whole thing is on the cart. Manual. And damn, dog. Dude, always doing this crazy bullshit out here. All right. As I was saying, my computer was doing some crazy shit in my Steam Deck. Full colored manual. I mean, Marvelous is doing it right, dude. I'm gonna buy all their games. I mean, I'll talk a little bit about Daemon X Machina as I'm going along here, but yeah, so I'm gonna put like half of Sony's, I'm gonna say half the games that they release that are physical and digital, pretty much half of the sales are physical, and they're gonna feel that, man, because like me, after PS5 generation, I'm done. I'm gonna stick it out with the Switch 2. I mean, look behind me, man. I got shelves and shelves of fucking games. And I would keep on buying. You know, like, I'm the type of person, I'm like fucking 40. I have an adult job. And I mean, I'm a collector and shit. I don't have any kids or anything. So it's like, my income just goes to my hobbies, besides what I need to live, right? And the funny thing is that they've spent so much time like turning their backs on people like me, like the people that have been basically giving them like 25% of their paycheck for the last 30 years. And they tried to like get rid of people like me. And you know what? They finally succeeded, I think. Like, Sony finally succeeded in getting rid of me. Took them 5 generations of gaming consoles, but they finally fucking got rid of me. Kudos to them. It took them a lot of work. I mean, I got about 50, 60 PS1 games, about 70 to 80 PS2 games, 40 PS3 games, 60 PS4 games, 40 PS5 games, and probably 30 PSP games. I'm fighting them tooth and nail, bought all those games from them, and they were sick of it. They were sick of me buying all that fucking shit, and they finally fucking got rid of me. My menacing ass, my stupid menace ass, buying all the shit they were selling. God forbid I want it on a goddamn disc. And this gets me to my point here. Like, this is just the beginning of the problem. It's just the tip of the iceberg. The PS6, what is it going to have? Like a 256 gig internal drive? Like 500 gig maybe? Probably 500 gig. I doubt it'll have a terabyte internal drive. I'd be surprised if they did. It should have like a 10 terabyte drive is what it should have. And even that wouldn't really feel like enough. But like, that's going to be a problem because SSD is expensive. And if you look into it, which I have, and feel free to go fact check me. I think I looked it up on Gemini. I was looking up basically how, like, what's cheaper, to store your games on SSD or to store your games on Blu-ray disc right now. And right now the figures are 2 cents per gig on a Blu-ray and 20 cents per gig on SSD. So it's literally 10 times, costs 10 times as much. And here's the thing, when we're in this all digital future, none of us is going to be able to afford enough drive space to actually even have all of our games on the drive. So like, what does it even mean to own any of that shit anyway if you can't even have it all at once? Like, you just gonna like rely on them not to delist any of the games you own in their own database, and they're just gonna make those available for download forever? We've already seen that they don't do that. So, and on top of that, you're never going to have enough room to store all your shit yourself. I mean, the only way you're going to be able to do it are people who are using like GOG and like ripping their own discs, which I've seen some people already starting to do stuff like that, which is cool and stuff, and that'll be a way to have your games physically. But I mean, really the best you're going to be able to do is have like a bunch of external storage for like your PC or something like a Steam Deck or whatever you're using. Just having a bunch of external storage, like is that what they're going to sell us then? Like, they're just going to sell us external drives for these new consoles so that we'll have enough space to put all of our games? Is that going to be the next? And then how much are those going to cost? Like, all the memory is going to be so fucking expensive. And that leads me to my next point. They're going to take all this shit away. The disc is just the beginning. They're going to take everything away. They're going to take the hardware next. Like, right now they're taking storage, and they're still going to leave processing power in regular people's hands, I think, for a little while. But they've pretty much taken storage already, and everything else is going to go to AI. They're going to force us into cloud gaming, and then they're going to force us into cloud computing. And basically all we're going to have is an account and a panel and the internet and a controller. That's going to be the big thing, I guess. Different companies selling you their controllers at that point. That's going to be all the hardware. Like, what other hardware? What difference does it make? Like, I guess Sony could sell you TVs. And what's like Xbox going to do? It's just going to be an app. Xbox is going to be a storefront. Sony's going to be a storefront. And I think Nintendo will be the last ones. They'll hold out. They won't be a storefront. I think even if they get rid of physical media, they're going to have some kind of gimmick with their console that is going to keep it where they're going to have exclusive titles because of some kind of interface that it'll just make it exclusive, kind of like with the Wii U or the mouse interface, whatever. They're going to find some way, or just like the modularity of it, the fact that you can play it on TV or whatever. I mean, I'm sure since they're going to get rid of so much of the internal hardware, it'll be easy for companies like Sony to put something out that's very similar to the PlayStation Portal, and that's effectively your console, and it'll be like the Switch. They'll probably, and that's the thing, it's just going to be a panel, and all of it's going to be cloud computing, which I think is bullshit, because like, oh, if there's bad weather or if your internet is down, like, you just can't play games. And the way they'll probably try to get around that is like, maybe they'll have some local, I doubt it though. I really don't think, like, I don't know how they could work around the fact that there's just going to be hardly any internal storage space for users. It's pretty bleak. Like, they're going to take computers away altogether. Like, they're going to take the PC away altogether and force us into cloud computing. And it goes way beyond just gaming. Yeah, this is just the beginning of it. They want these companies to do it first because, like, they feel like they have us by the balls. And I think they might be wrong, though. And this kind of segues into the next interesting thing that has popped up in the recent days here. Like, where does it leave us as, like, physical gamers, physical collectors? Where does it leave somebody like me who, like, for me, I think like at least half of the hobby is collecting the games for me and the other half is playing them. So like, it's like, I don't particularly want to get too attached to or play a game too much unless I own it. Like, if I start out by playing a game and I end up really liking it, I'll get it physically, and I'll just wait until I get it physically, and then I'll play through it, rather than finishing it on the digital. Basically, the digital version, I'll buy it as like an expensive demo, and then I'll get the game physically and actually finish it. But yeah, half of it is the actual collecting the physical media and displaying it, putting it on a shelf, having it available, having your library to walk up to and look at and say to yourself, what do I feel like playing today? You know, you don't get that. And the thing is like, having a list of fucking games to play, I don't like that shit. That's part of the reason I don't like emulation and doing ROMs, man. It's like channel flipping. It's just like doom scrolling. It's just like flipping through videos. It's like, because it's all available right there and you know it is, the compulsion is just to play each game for a few minutes, and the moment that there's any resistance or it becomes a chore in any way, any of the games, you're just fucking done and you're on to the next one. And then you find yourself just hopping from game to game to game. And that's like back in the day when the PS3 was like the current console. I remember I modded my PS3 and it was cool for a while until I just had too much shit to play on the PS3. Like, and like, I found myself compelled to just beat the games I had physically, because like all the other games that I just uploaded didn't even matter. Like, it was just a bunch of bullshit. It was like, oh, this looks interesting, let me try it. Like, there's no nuance to it, there's no looking into it, learning about it. Trying to determine if you would be interested in it. Like I said, it's just like surfing through Netflix and stuff. The moment that something is no longer capturing your attention at the highest possible level, it's super easy to just be like, done, on to the next thing. And I think the next step for physical games, at least for me, is I'm going to stick it out with the Switch 2, and I'm going to buy anything that they end up releasing that's actually not a key card. And that'll kind of be it. And I'm going to get an Evercade. Like, I pre-ordered the Nexus. So I'll probably start collecting Evercade cards, make a little collection of all the ones I give a shit about, since they're like fucking like 35 to 50 bucks a piece, which is pretty reasonable. I'll probably get Evercade. I'll probably start buying more Incubate games, Game Boy games. I'll probably buy more new releases for like the Sega Genesis and shit. And I'll just start buying new games for retro consoles and focus on that. And I'm only going to buy any games that I can get physically. Like I'm not buying any more games from digital storefronts like at all anymore, period. I'm just going to get physical titles. And if there's a game I really want to play on the Switch too, if there's no way to get it physically, I'm just not going to play it, man. I'm at that point. And I own enough games. It's like the only game that I might fold, and I'm sure I'll find a way to play it when the time comes that won't involve getting a PS6, but it's like the only game I really care about is like wherever the next Armored Core comes up. Like that's it.